Hey, good morning, and welcome to Drawing for Tattooers. I'm your host, James Wisdom, um, and also, welcome to Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community. Um, this is where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live stream and real-world events. Um, we wish to share, inspire, and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. Morning, Amber.
Good morning.
I'm just reading these announcements right now, so yeah,
No
welcome.
worries.
Yeah, welcome. Um, well, we beam out nearly every single day, and with your help, we've become a quality network of live and on-demand art shows. We've all been receiving rave reviews, so you can find out more at reinventingthetattoo.com. So that's my cue. I like to share the screen at this point. This cool. Yeah. Um, okay. Cool. Right, reinventingthetattoo.com. Hmm. Yeah, you can find Reinventing the Tattoo, the app, on all of the app stores, Apple App Store, Google Play Store. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and there's a Roku channel as well. You can also find us on all the major podcast directories, Apple and Spotify. But no matter where you are watching us live or on demand, you can always find the latest and greatest right here at reinventingthetattoo.com. So we have a number of weekly stable shows. Um, you can find them here on Reinventing the Tattoo. On Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have the Skill Building Drawing Group hosted by Jason Leeser. Always a good time. Um, on Mondays at 9 a.m., we have Drawing for Tattooers. That's this show.
Yay.
Um, that's followed uh, at 5 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. Let's talk about feelings with Robbie Ripple. At 9 p.m. on Mondays, we have the subscribers exclusive drawing group. Um, so be sure to check that out. On Thursdays, we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker. And yeah, I think that's oh, here I'm sharing the event schedule. Check out and see what's coming up. Um, so it looks like on Wednesdays we've got machines and magnetism. That's Tony Urbanic's machine building um, seminar and just jam session. It's very cool. So if you're into coil machines and stuff, I think it's actually very informative, and it's also a lot of fun. Yeah, and then 1 p.m. We have the Tattoo Now show on Wednesdays. So very cool. Oh yeah, 6 p.m. That's the Tattoo Collecting 101. That's Thursdays at 6.
It's always a fun show.
It is fun. I like to have it on. I'm usually, I'm working that day at that time, so it's nice to check in with them and see what they're talking about. Um, so it's anyway, we've got lots of shows, so it'd be really cool if you got a chance to check them out, and of course, you could pop into them like this one. Um, but why don't we just take a moment and we'll thank some of our sponsors. Um, Tattoo Now. Tattoo Now is the latest in professional development and management software. They have CRMs, mailing list updates, as well as other tools to help you communicate more effectively with your clientele. So let Tattoo Now help you take your business to the next level. Ask for Gabe, and he'll get you all hooked up. Um, so Yeah, and Tattoo Now is also an incredible portfolio website where you can find, high resolution images of all sorts of tattoos, as well as if you become a member, you can also upload your own high resolution tattoos here. It's very cool. So, um, yeah, all kinds of content. There's the show. Excellent. So, um, tattoonow.com. Check it out. Um, and I will also plug my website, tattooingwisdom.com. You can come here. You can learn more about me, as well as you can fill out a consult page and get tattooed. So I'm always working on it, work in progress. I'm updating stuff all the time, but yeah, tattooingwisdom.com. You can learn more about my paintings and stuff too. So thank you. Um, and last but not least, we just want to thank Guy Atchison for being the founder and inspiration behind reinventingthetattoo.com. You can learn more about Guy Atchison at guyatchison.com, where he has galleries, about page, as well as custom coil machines, fine art prints, and original artwork as well. So, very cool site, and certainly encourage you to check out guyatchison.com. Um, yes, and so I think that's gonna do it. So stop our share. Very cool. Um, yeah. So good morning, Amber. Good morning, Medusa. Thanks for coming.
Good morning, guys.
Mm. It's yeah. I know it's extra early for you, Medusa. So it's cool you could come. And daylight savings time just happened,
Kicked
and
me in the butt.
so it was yeah, certainly a challenge, right? To make it on time to everything, and to, I don't know, kind of keep up that endurance. Something that something that Gabe was talking about last week that I found, it just resonated with me quite a bit. One of his core values, endurance, right? Especially in tattooing. Uh, it can be quite painful, things you have to endure before you get to the pretty stuff. Um, so I guess I've been
I think
like,
that's what makes getting tattooed therapeutic.
what do you mean? I'd love to
Well,
hear.
in life, you go through painful stuff and it doesn't always end pretty. But in a tattoo, you know you're going to go through the painful stuff. You're still going to deal with all of those emotions that physical pain brings up, but you know at the end something beautiful is coming from it.
That would be the hope. Yeah,
And that's the
that'd be the
therapy of
hope.
it.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
You still got
Um,
to go through the catharsis of all the pain, but something beautiful comes from it rather than just negativity.
right, right. Yeah, well, I've seen, like, all sorts of cover up opportunities that, just that have happened, made their way by the shop. Um, somebody called in and they said that they had an emergency cover up situation. It was an emergency, right?
I've
Um,
had an emergency cover up situation or two.
but it was, once we got a chance to talk about it, my take on it is that it's an opportunity, right, for a new beginning, right? You might end up with something that's like very cool, rather than, um, you know, I don't know. It's like, you could just, I've seen it before. You put like a tattoo, like a void stamp on, on the cover up, something like
Yeah.
that. Really seems like that actually kind of brings more attention, right, to the to the cover
Yeah,
up,
it's not a
you
cover
know?
up as much as a rework.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, not talking badly about that strategy, but I'm just saying it's just sort of, it seems like it kind of, almost it's like you can still see what's underneath there, and it's like it's voided, so it's like, oh, they really got you, huh? It's like so it can be it might be counter to
Comedic
your aim
value.
and stuff, so it's funny, I guess, but
The comedic value of the void stamp, though, is priceless.
Yes,
I'm all about
yeah,
funny tattoos. I love
definitely.
funny tattoos.
it's yeah.
And a void stamp is a timelessly funny tattoo.
Yeah.
There's the old Norman Rockwell painting of the sailor getting tattooed.
Yes, I love that painting.
Uh, I'm gonna like pull it up here and see if I can. Yeah, let's see it. Maybe they'll let us see it. I don't know. Oh, terrible. Images. Okay, let's see if they'll let me share it. I don't know. Uh,
That's the one
hmm.
where, yeah.
Yep.
I'm so grateful that I've never liked anybody enough to have their name tattooed on me.
So,
Yeah.
but any cover-ups? Does anybody have any cover-ups? I have one.
I do.
Yeah, cool. It's
I have one that needs to be covered up. It's
Yeah.
not covered up yet, but it will be. It's not a name. It's just I was not even a tatter tot yet and thought I was hot shit and tried to do it myself and not in that spot. It's too much pain for me to cause myself.
Yeah. I
Somebody else has
covered
got to do that to me.
I covered up a super sick tribal dragon. That was pretty cool. Not I covered it up. It covered up on me because when I was 19, wicked, sick, tight tribal dragons were
We're the thing. That was it.
fucking cool.
hell yeah. No, I think it is a moment in time. It has to be, right? Like all your tattoos are that. Um, and then even the cover up part too. It's like maybe like if everything goes better than expected, you might even forget, like what you're covering up, or you might like sort of forget the contours of it, right? You may always retain the memory of like, oh, I had that tribal dragon, and then it had to get covered up. But if the cover up is so expertly done, you may not even be able to perceive like where it was, where it's located at, where it kind of begins, and where the
I
new cover
love
up
where cover
ends.
ups are done like that.
Yeah, sometimes they're very effective. Sometimes they are clearly visible through, and it's one of those things that's is sort of an acceptance, right? Um, it is what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I always love this painting. I think it's of course it's very funny, but you know, cover-ups, right? And that's a part of it, right? We can just, there's not even an attempt. You're not even going to try to cover it up. It's just, like I
No,
said, it's the void stamp. It's the strike through, and so we can go through and we can just see those. We can see those names clearly, but that's a part of, I think, our artistry, that we have that capacity. We can do that for our customers. Like we might be able to um, help give them a new start, right? Help give them a new beginning. And so, but again, it would be there'd be a lot of endurance that would be required to do it. I think that's a part of the hurdle, right, to getting a really good cover up. Is being determined, right, having the dedication to see it through. Um, it's going to be much larger. It's going to be much more complicated. So, um, anyway, I just I thought it was I thought that was I don't know, just I was talking about endurance. Like I said, um, but thanks to Gabe Ripley, I thought it was it's one of his core values that he talks about. So I thought it was I think it's certainly one that I
Well, the
wish
guy
to
in that
share.
painting is definitely enduring. He still believes
Yes,
in
yeah,
love. That's for sure. He's going to find it no matter how many times he's got to cross out a name.
right, absolutely.
The
Hmm.
only name I have on me is my mother's. And I have a fast rule. I'm not tattooing your girlfriend or your partner's name on you.
Oh, okay.
I,
That
I, I, I believe in karma and I don't want my karma tied to what happens to your relationship. And I think it's always the death knell. As soon as you got their name tattooed on you, it begins to end.
I'll do it. Fuck
yeah,
it. Their body, their choice. If they love that much, then go for it.
yeah. No, completely uncynically. I love love, so I do.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Oh
I
no, I'm
won't.
It is.
completely cynical
There's.
about love right now.
You are right
I'm
about
in a
that. It's
I'm in a
a.
committed relationship with tattooing, and that's it. Nobody else comes first.
No, that's. I think that's. That's important too. It's. I think Salvador Dali said something like that too. It's like like he's married to your painting, or you're married to your art, and you cheat on it with your wife, whatever,
Yeah,
whatever, however it goes,
exactly.
but something like that. Paraphrasing, but apply that as you will. But I think to um, yeah, that risk, right, of getting the something symbolic name can't is so particularly symbolic that it really can't help but to um, yeah, it really can't help but to sort of like you can't disassociate it from what it is, what it meant. So if things don't turn out the way you thought, it could be very painful. um,
Mm,
but we're just reading the chats. Good morning, Creature. I got to meet Creature last
nice.
week. Creature came in, got a tattoo. I'll share that later. It was so awesome. It was great to meet Creature and Creature's gang. So good morning. Oh, yeah. And then also Kyle Olson's in the chat. Hey, Kyle. Good morning. And Kyle says, "Welcome back, Amber." Yes.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank you very
not
much.
to
I
loss
appreciate
over
that.
that.
I'm good.
Good. Yeah, we were all worried about you last week. You're in the hospital. Um,
Yeah, the kids brought home a respiratory infection, and I wound up getting it. And because I have respiratory issues in the first place, it wound up getting me. And I was like, all right, I chicken soup and Mucinex is not going to fix this. I got to go to the hospital and get something done. And they were like, you're staying. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. I'm like, I got shit to do. So they made me stay. And I got treated and I'm a lot better.
That's good. It's good that
I
you're
feel
doing
like I
well
got
and we have you
shot, I
back.
feel like I got shot out into a parallel universe though. Everything's just a little off.
yeah, trying to like
You know what I mean? Like that, because
back
I'm
into
missing a
the
week.
flow.
And then daylight savings time hit me. I'm like, I'm already missing a week. Don't throw in another hour I'm missing. I'm
Yeah.
already trying to figure out what day of the week it is and what med schedule I'm on.
Well, welcome back. It is great to see you, and yeah, you're looking great. And so I'm also
Thank you.
just glad you're out of the hospital, and you're
I'm feeling awesome.
getting getting, getting back into the swing of it. Yeah, I think that's a part of it. What we're talking about, having
Yeah,
endurance, being
endurance, getting
determined.
back into the regular routine.
Yeah, I think it's something for me. I guess I always become pretty critical of myself. It's like, oh, I should be practicing my drawing more. Oh, I'm so lazy. I should be doing following all my own advice that I sure like to give. But you know, so I think when that comes up for me, I well, I just get back to it. That's what my old drawing teacher used to always say when we take a break. He's like, break time's over. Let's get back to it. And so I think that's just the thing that it really helps to pick yourself up, keep on going, even if you are judging yourself to you know you could have done more, you could have done better. That
Oh yeah,
criticism is
I tried to go into
probably
the
good.
shop the day after I got out of the hospital, and then I wound up sleeping for 2 days because I overdid it. Because I thought, all right, I'm just going to jump right back into it. And I'm like, no, that is not the way to do it. Amber, you're going to have to accept the fact that naps are a part of your life for the next week or so.
Good. No, I think that's good. You have to take care of yourself. Absolutely.
Are
Um,
you implying that naps weren't a part of your life before?
No, naps aren't a regular part of my life because I have a tendency. Naps turn into tomorrow.
That I don't. You say that like it's a bad thing.
If I lived alone, it wouldn't be a bad thing. If it was
Gotcha.
just me, if it was still just taking care of me and not having three animaniacs in my life, it would be great.
I want to get take naps tattooed on my knuckles.
That would be great.
yeah, well, that could work. Naps are
I'm
naps can be
discovering them.
effective,
They're a
right? Yeah,
wonderful thing.
sometimes too. What are you saying, Amber? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm discovering naps. They're a wonderful thing. I just have to learn how to nap in moderation.
Good. Yeah, good. It's good to know yourself, figure out what works. Um, yeah, I don't. I think naps happen, right? It's probably
Yes.
it just kind of happens, like when when they're necessary. If you've napped, then must have been necessary, I suppose. but but yeah, no, I don't have a scheduled one. Maybe that's not a bad idea, but gotta work it
Yeah,
in.
schedule a siesta every day, just a power nap.
Yeah, yeah, gotta schedule time for stuff. Right, gotta make time to do your nap, to do your practice, right? To do the daily drawing stuff. Um, shit. I wish, I wish I, was more dedicated to this, but I think it's a process, right? It's a process of like, forming these habits. I have plenty of bad ones, you know, it was, you can form them. So I value this drawing practice, and I think that it's a habit worth forming, even if right it can easily fall out of practice. You can easily sort of let it go by the wayside. Other things take priority, and you don't always get to it. So these are the that's what we're doing here, trying to encourage you, right,
Yeah.
to stick with it, right, to get back to it. Um, and so those are I think those are all really important. Um, well, let me see here. I I want to share. Okay. So I want to share the tattoo I did for Creature.
I saw that.
Got a chance to see it?
I love the colors.
Thank you.
Oh, that is cool.
Thank you. Well, it was a pleasure to get to meet Creature and to work on this tattoo. So yeah, this is what we came up with. I drew this design, and I drew it in one of the Monday night drawing groups. Uh, Medusa's a part of it. Get to see Medusa, and Kyle Olson's in there. Steve and Jesse, um, Jason Leeser, Ricardo. Ricardo even shows up from time to time. So it's a really great group. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Certainly, I think it's been a great practice. It's been a
Yeah.
great thing for my drawings and my just my life really. I think
Mhm.
because it's just one more opportunity, right, to get with others, draw stuff, get some feedback, get some constructive criticism. Um, and then so the result was I had a design that I was able to uh, find someone who really loved it and wanted to get it, and so I think it's been a beautiful thing, and it was a lot of fun to do it. Really proud of the piece. Excited to see it healed up. Love to give it another pass. You know what I mean? Give it
I always feel
one
that way
pass.
about every tattoo.
Hmm. Yeah, I would love to do that.
I'd love to get back in there once it heals and tighten it back up.
Hmm. Yeah, certainly. You can always do more with another pass or two, right? You can always give it a little bit more sort of care, attention. Um, but it sure was a enjoyable, fun tattoo to do. It's always fun doing getting to do your own compositions as well. So
Yeah.
that was another level of enjoyment and satisfaction. So um, right. No, I think it was a lot of fun, and thank you for letting me share that. Um, well, since you both are here, does anybody have any artwork or tattoos or anything they'd like to share? Love to see it.
I don't exactly know what I did, but while I was in the hospital, I scribbled a whole bunch of colors on a piece of paper.
Let me.
I mean, it really is just completely random and abstract. It's not anything big, but I couldn't stop doing it the whole time I was in the hospital.
There's this there's an area in it. So where you're, hold on, I'm trying to be in your position. That
This
that
area,
hand that's
I
moving.
think, you
Yes.
mean?
Okay, a little up with there, right there. No, down, down, up, in between. So it looks like this purple scribbly line over the white scribbly line, and then the blue
Oh,
around it. So that area reminds me of like the paper cups from like the 90s.
yes. Yeah.
And I love it.
And over here, it's a little bit Reptar, and like
Yeah.
it just looks like something that should have,
I'm getting some Starry Night vibes.
yeah, a little bit. But they
Yeah.
had me on, they had me on so many steroids while I was in the hospital that they were giving me stuff to calm me down too.
I was on steroids when I had shingles. That's no fun.
Yeah, because I have anxiety. I just have borderline anxiety to living. So pumping me full of steroids is really going to give me anxiety. So they were, sedating me a little bit while I was in there. And so I had some really weird, colorful dreams. And this is kind of what came out of the cocktail.
That's really interesting. I like seeing how your situation, which is pretty traumatic, um, came out in a way that you could place colors down
Yeah.
to like relay that state of being that you were in. That's really cool.
The only way I could translate it was in colors because I couldn't, Im, images weren't going to work.
Yeah.
because there were no words behind it. It was very much all emotion and, weird, vivid dreams
Yeah,
that
that's
I can't even
definitely
articulate.
yeah, that's definitely a good example of how art can be very therapeutic and how working with colors can be therapeutic and all of that. Thank you for sharing it. That is so cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't even know what gave me the forethought to go grab your art bag if you're going to the hospital. It's just
It was a good thought to have.
the bag. I'm like paper, pens, pencils. Just give me. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Plus, I
I
got to advertise that I'm a tattooer to everybody that came into my room. So
nice. Hopefully you get some clients.
yeah, I
Yeah.
gave out my card quite a few times. So we'll see.
All right. I have a piece I want to share that's a work in progress.
Let's see it.
Oh God, it's me.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm working on this piece. You know what? My camera is not that great, but I've been using color pencil and layering and blending, and this is what I got so far.
That's gorgeous.
That's
Thanks.
really
I'm
beautiful.
playing with greens. Yeah, like trying to make it look like these might be like, I don't know, emeralds, some sort of green glassy stone,
Mhm.
and the rest, I don't know, jade, whatever.
It's
Just
totally
ornamental
reminiscent of
stuff.
Jade. I like it.
Yeah, there's more penciled in around here, but I haven't colored it in yet. So these spiky things are not just standalone things. But yeah, that's what I got.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, stunning. What do you, so all right, so you're working with greens. What are you learning about greens? Or what can you, like what are you coming
So
up
with
against with
this
it?
monochromatic, is that the term that I'm for this? One kind of, no, not really. Um, I am what I am learning the hard way is distinguishing the difference between warmer greens and cooler greens and trying to match them up. Because I'm not just each color is not like this area right here and this area right here. Those aren't just one shade of green. I've done different layers with the color pencils to like blend together, and I've been realizing that not all greens blend together very well because some are more cooler, some are warmer, and sometimes you lay down the green on the paper that is just slightly the wrong
Green.
leans, yeah, is the wrong temperature, and then you gotta figure out how to work around that. But yeah, no, figuring out the difference between warmer greens and cooler greens is definitely been a challenge. I want to learn more about color temperatures. And I know that green typically is a cooler color, but within the whole scale of green, I know that there are different variants. So I wanted to work with all of those, and hopefully that'll give me some more knowledge on that subject. Color thermometer theory.
Color
Yeah.
thermometer.
Color theory.
Yeah.
I think so.
So,
Just because of the way you were phrasing it, I don't think I would call that monochromatic. I think the scheme that you were using is would be analogous. That'd be the word for it. Like so
okay, yeah.
so
Analogous.
you're going from like, there's a range of greens all the way from say, blue green to yellow green and and everything in between there. Um, so that's clearly you're doing it. It's like with Zoom, we don't get real great like resolution all the time. I don't think, especially from the cameras, but it comes across. You know what I mean? I think you could see um, the temperature. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I analogous anal glass.
yeah. That exactly that. Um, but also, there are certainly like sort of degrees of intensity as well. Like, there's some greens they seem more intense, and there's some greens that seem like they may be even less more neutralized. So
Yeah, well, another thing that I have also learned, because I'm working with Faber-Castell Goldfaber pencils, don't trust the colors on the end of the tips. Don't
Yeah,
trust
no.
it. You have to just like pencil it out on a scratch paper first.
gotta test it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, the little color indicator, not correct at all for most of them.
I found that to be similar on their markers as well.
I haven't tried their markers. Other than that, also though, I'm really liking the Faber-Castell color pencils. They're not the polychromos, which are the oil-based ones. These are the wax-based ones, but I'm loving them, and they're way more affordable than Prismacolor. So that's my
Yeah.
product review.
That's a good tip. Good to remember.
Mhm.
Well, if you're really into expensive ones, there was at the old art store I used to go to. They had a display case of the brand name is Crayon d'Arche. So it's French brand or whatever, but it's like very beautiful pencils, right? So you get up and you could like try them out and stuff. And but they were to my recollection, they were quite a bit more expensive than any of the other options. So, um, but yeah, you got to you have to have the right, I think, product. The right product will give you the good quality can go a lot further than something that's more affordable sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a premium, you can get something exceptional. But there's no reason why you shouldn't try as many different things as you can. Um, that way you'll know what works for you. You'll know what's going to be effective for the particular thing that you're doing.
I
Um,
also wouldn't suggest giving up on the cheaper brands
sure.
because they
Oh
still have
no.
their purpose. I don't think most people know, but a secret between y'all and everybody seeing this now, my highest selling print, the original, was made with Crayola watercolors. Then that little panel thing that you give to first graders,
Uh
use that, and I have not made more money off of any of my paintings than the prints I sold with that one.
nice.
Thanks,
I
Crayola.
love Crayola watercolors.
Yeah,
I
they're
mix
so
them with my
bad, but
higher
you
end
can still
watercolors
use
all the
them.
time
There's no
because
light fastness though.
no, but they have this jelly quality that regular watercolors doesn't have that I really like the way it lays into a good expensive paper.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea.
Not all watercolor paper is created equal. I'm talking about, the quality of some watercolor paper is just made of pressed pulp and the good watercolor paper is 100% cotton. I can't afford the 100% cotton all the time, which is why I make tiny paintings because I will use every scrap of watercolor paper I have.
I love tiny paintings.
Sometimes they're just fun.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes they are. Sometimes they're incredibly intimate and like a, sort of such a beautiful object, you can desire
Mm,
it, this little tiny thing. And
I like making collages out of them later.
certainly, yeah. Um, yeah, no, excellent, all excellent points. And I think that the only way that you would know, right, is through experience. You have to try it. Right?
Exactly.
You have to do and you have to try. And so yeah, using your medium, being being experimental, I think it's an important part of, you know, any art practice. Um, but of course, there is always our work. There's the work that that we're going to do, and I think you know something that you experiment with could emerge and become this, something that you call your work. But then there's the work that you do every day, and I think for in those instances, um, having a process, kind of sticking with it, being determined, um, being decisive, right, and then again endurance, right, sticking with it to the end. I think that's those are all elements, right? Elements to being able to do be a professional, do something consistently enough. Right. Thank you both so much for sharing your artwork with us. It really was it's wonderful to see what you're working on, and then also like uh, just getting to sharing each other's work. I think is just really that's really like an incredible thing. Community, right?
Yeah.
Um, right. So, well, I have some drawing exercises that I'd like to just kind of run through. These are things that I feel like again they are really challenging, even though they're very simple. They're very sort of straightforward, but they can be. I think they can lead to to greater muscle memory. They can lead to sort of more insights whenever it is that you want to develop a concept into a more sort of concrete realization of whatever it is that you're really wanting to see in the world, like image wise. So again, it's I think celebrating our experimentation and feeling free enough to sketch and to to be experimental. So crucial, and engage in it. And then of course have some practice, do a few things that you know they're challenging. They can also be frustrating in certain respects, but and so it's okay to draw messy, right? To practice and to to do things that are going to be they're not so precious. That's right. It's not so perfect. Um, you can save that stress for your work time, right? But yeah, let me share my screen. Maybe thought I did share it. Please.
It says
Okay,
you started sharing it. There we go.
there you can see. All right, very cool. All right, so again, I think you can practice things for as long as you like. Um, I always think like a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes of doing anything is actually a little while. It actually can be quite a while if you are uh, you know uh, really focusing on it and just sort of trying to practice trying your best to to practice. Um, right. So again, I will I will preface all of this with its with its simplicity. Really, I think there's a real simplicity to doing this. All right, so that is start off with just doing some vertical lines, right? So up and down. Again, a little bit different on a on a tablet, but I don't know how thick these are. But just sort of trying to give yourself a vertical line. Ugh, terrible, right? But again, it's sort of like I think for me, ugh, as I talk through it, so the things I'm thinking about.
The grunts of
I know.
frustration.
It's like try to do it. It's
Yeah,
hard. Maybe some people probably are more natural with it than others. But the
yeah.
thought would be to sort of focus your breathing, so so you're not like hyperventilating in the middle of pulling this line, right? And then for in this particular exercise, it's more. I like to think of it as it being more about like using your arm, right? Using the shoulder, using your chest, even all the way down to your leg. Hey, good morning, Elise. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry,
Morning.
am I late?
Us-
Sorry, daylight savings time has messed me up.
No, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming.
Cool.
We're just I'm making vertical lines poorly. It's so terrible. Anyway, yeah,
Wait, you were an art teacher before you were a tattooist, right?
I was a tattooist before I was a art teacher, and then now I'm full-time tattooing again and doing this weekly show.
Hmm.
I hope we're all learning, growing together.
Definitely.
Uh, yeah. Well, we're making the most riveting content available right now, but but I
Riveting.
hope
This is the
but
meat
I
and bones
hope
of it, the good
I
stuff.
hope you're giving it a try. I mean,
I
like
am.
if you are if you are watching this and you can draw like a ruler, you're just like the human ruler or something, then awesome.
Then
I don't know what you
I
can
was
do with
just
it. I
thinking, then
don't.
fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
'cause I'm drawing all these lines and I'm like, okay, that one's okay.
I'm seriously trying to go through my brushes and find one that doesn't have stabilization on it.
Oh yeah.
Because I drew one, I was like, oh my God, it looks so good. And I'm like, oh, I cheated.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, I don't know why they're struggling. I'm so good at this.
Mine's showing the character, right? The character of my line work. So
There you go. My line work's got some character, all right.
terrible.
Pretty good
Terrible.
at character is Gonzo.
It just sucks to find out that I'm not actually good at lines. That was the stabilization. I was like, I'm gonna keep quiet. I'm not gonna be that asshole, but like my lines are perfect.
Good.
Now they're not.
Well, okay, so fun with vertical lines, right? Next, let's try some horizontal ones. Let's see how it goes. Uh, yeah, and you know what? I mean, it's like it's even more difficult, right? If you pick your arm up and you are using your shoulder, right, to draw with. It might even get tired, and so especially I know a lot of times, it's almost the tendency to just to get all tight, and to just be all cramped. Again, there's gonna be a lot of versatility and utility, right, with using, just the jurisdiction of your wrist, right? Just almost, just really kind of flexing at the wrist and doing quite a bit of your drawing. And we're all going to do that. But this is a part of, the exercise part of it, right? Like, give it a try. Seriously, it's, give it a shot. Pick up that arm and really try to pull a line horizontally. And then also, I think would be, something that's really useful to practice, right, is your breathing, right, is to sort of to focus on that, um, and also take notice of where you're looking, right? Where is it that you're looking? Are you looking at what you've already done, or are you looking, ahead? I think it's probably best to sort of keep your eyes on the road, as it were. Okay. So exhale as you're like, you're pulling your line rather than like trying to breathe in the middle of it, right? That's going to throw off your rhythm. It's going to throw off your body, but inhale and then exhale out. And then just simply by doing it, you might start to notice some tendencies like, it looks like a bobble it at the end, or, I sort of, picking up my arm a little bit over here, that sort of a thing. Um, this might be a good thing to know. What's the speed, right, that you make this at? Can you do is a quick one just so much better? A little bit wavy, right? Should be very slow. Ugh, terrible.
I definitely found a truthful uh pen now.
Excellent. That's good, right? It's good to
Yeah.
know the truth.
Don't make
All my
Keep
other
that on it.
brushes are liars.
it caught the laugh when you made me laugh in the line.
Yep.
I like switching between digital and analog and like double tapping my paper.
Sure.
And just be like, oh no.
Are you finding
I've
that
tried.
you're more effective at one versus the other? Is one better?
Um, I
So,
I still do both for various reasons. Like I like to sketch out um my ideas digitally. Um, but the final piece I'll usually do analog because I just like the feel of the materials. I'm better at it that way. I like the looks of it, like color pencil, watercolor, all of that. I just feel like you can't really duplicate that digitally, but I also save like 50 sheets of paper every time I sketch out the roughs digitally. So it's, yeah.
Like being
Yeah.
able to do thumbnails big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, the furthest I go with digital is like doing line work, but everything else has to be analog. I don't like painting digitally. I don't like coloring digitally. I don't like the way it looks, and I'm not good at it.
It lacks an organic quality. You know what I mean? Like it lacks a hand. Not that digital art isn't very pretty. It is, I think, for people who can do it, because I can't do it. I certainly can't do it.
When I got
Not
my
with any
first,
efficiency whatsoever. But I don't get the same satisfaction when I do things digitally as I do when I do them analog.
So when I first got an iPad, the main purpose was really to I got an iPad for art so that I could sketch out my roughs and not go through just piles and piles of paper and have scrap paper everywhere. And so that I could save all of my sketches and everything without having to create like huge Tupperware bins just full of papers and notebooks. That's the whole reason I got an iPad to begin with. And it stayed pretty consistent throughout the years. I like to do the final products analog, and I do all the sketching and roughs digital.
I think that's all very logical. Probably a good way to think of it. Right. I'm working on drawing some diagonal lines. Diagonally, I would, the way I would sort of phrase it would be just anything that's not vertical or horizontal, right? Would be have a diagonal character to it. Um, something that we notice, visually speaking, vertical lines, horizontal lines, they're very static. So, and they almost move the eye at a particular pace, whereas diagonal line it's much more dynamic, and it's sort of exciting, and it moves the eye at a much quicker uh, at a much quicker rate. So these are just sort of things that I just mentioned, and um, again, there may be a lot. So in tattooing terms, tattoo design terms, um, you think about vertical and horizontal lines of the body as being like the anti-flow, right? It's sort of like, you can sort of think about it. It's not, this is linear. This is a linear characteristic. Where again, if you have something that curves or something that's diagonal, you might be coming closer to, something that's much more flowy. So, or flowing. And so anyway, yeah. So just sort of thinking about getting that arm movement. Pick that arm up. Give it a try. You know what I mean? Might as well give it a shot. You never know. Um, again, you're gonna draw with your wrist a lot, and there is something really great, I think, about the jurisdiction of your hand movements, right? What can be done. Um, so work with that as well. But for this particular exercise, we're going to try to move the arm around a little bit. Practice those diagonals. They're kind of emanating from one point. You can have them going all over the place, I suppose. But in this particular instance,
My diagonals are turning into arches real quick.
yeah, like like that. Like I just, as you said it, yeah, mine too. Um, yeah. Again, I think there's all sorts of things that you can think about. Breath control. Where are you looking? Right, these sorts of things. Obviously, if you want things to be mechanically precise, you use a ruler, right? But there's something, like I said, I think there's something valuable about the attempt practice, muscle memory and stuff.
This is reminding me of back when I I went to Montessori school, so we had like these things where we had to like trace cursive letters, and I'm terrible at cursive.
What kind
But
of school?
I went to Montessori school, so it's I forget what it was started by some man, like something something Montessori. His last name was Montessori, and he believed that children weren't meant to learn behind desks. Um, so basically, it was a bunch of grades all in one room. And while there was kind of like they would give us direction, they'd be like, "Oh, we're learning math today." It would be kind of like up to us, like what we gravitated to study. And we would have more like the benchmarks were more open than like A, B, C, D, and F. We didn't get grades. Um, and it was more about how you progressed as opposed to pass or fail.
Sounds like it was designed more for finding out what your natural aptitude towards,
Right,
rather
right.
than trying to push you into a mold of this is what you have to learn and this is what you have to excel at.
Yeah.
There's a
So
liberal arts college in my hometown called Evergreen, and that is pretty much exactly how that college is run.
yeah, well, I don't know.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Pay a lot of money to go to college to make up your own curriculum and not have a real grade sheet to transfer to other colleges.
Oh, well, I can see how that could be good and
A
bad.
little problematic when you're older, but that
Yeah,
actually sounds really cool for younger children.
yeah. So I was in that up until like the third grade, and then fourth grade I was put into regular school.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I
No.
hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I got one line that's actually straight.
Well, then that's a victory, I think.
Yeah, the fact that there's one.
All right, so I am drawing an elliptical shape. Let's say, let's imagine it's elliptical for our exercise purposes. And so, um, this exercise, uh, I like to think of it. It's almost like a hatching, but perhaps you could think of it almost more like a cross contour. So I'll start with an elliptical shape. I mean, a lot of different shapes you could use for this, I think. But anyway, start there, go a little finer of a tip. And then I like to draw like an S shape across the form, and then make those parallel to each other. Um, I think again, it's like, well, it's practice. But in a way, you're also thinking about this as a volume rather than a flat shape. I feel like I feel like you could sort of, you could elicit that sense, or certainly it could be something that's, like that you're thinking about as you're making it, that you're kind of going over across the contour being this outside edge, and then across it, right? And again, you could just, you could also just go across it, right? Maybe like with an arched line, a curved line or something, um, but just sort of, like I said, just sort of practicing the movement, right? What if you want to have this flowing line go the other way? I think
Okay, nice.
pushing, pulling, sort of practicing different, those different approaches can be useful.
Now it looks kind of like that egg building in London.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think too, if you wanted to sort of, if you wanted to start giving it some value, some render, you could, you know, add more of them to one particular side. Start thinking about this like a cross hatching, right? To develop this rendering, but keeping it organized, right? It's not chaotic and going everywhere. You're
Who the fuck is printing off my printer?
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Is your printer communicating with you?
Yeah.
right. Well, I think this the you know the um, a part of the practice here with this one would be to, again, like just sort of develop that muscle memory for smooth flowing lines. Look at my circle. Don't look at it. Don't laugh at my drawing.
It's more circular than mine.
Well,
Yeah. Even my lips is more like a potato.
Yeah.
It's like a striped potato.
I yeah. Oh, so Kyle's in the chat. Oh, None Your Business is in the chat. Hey, None Your Business. Should we be drawing with our wrist or our shoulder? So I think if you're for these particular exercises, I'm encouraging you to use the shoulder, right? To use, think about all the muscles you have in your, well, let's take your, that are running through your wrist, through your carpal tunnel, right? You've got all these fine muscles that really control all the dexterity in your fingers. Again, I think that you're going to get a lot of, beautiful movement and motion through here. Probably just being unreflective and just cranking your wrist back and forth could be damaging, right? It could lead to damage, right? You could hurt yourself, especially like prolonged and like excessive, right? Um, so let's contrast that with all of the muscles in your arm, your your deltoid, right? Like your shoulder muscle, your pectoralis, your chest muscles, right? Your muscles in your back, and so all of that prepares, right? You got really big muscles in the rest of your arm and your body. So if we practice it, we're moving around. It's a good thing to practice. So again, you're going to use your wrist, right? You're going to draw things. You're going to practice it. But with these exercises, it can be really useful, I think, to use the shoulder, pick it up. So again, creature answers. Yeah, you're welcome, None Your Business. Creature commented, I practice both. Exactly. I want to practice both things, but of course, be mindful, right? Think about what it is you're going for, and that could be very, I think, could be really, helpful and effective, and you know, and so this is this the show that that I'm responsible for, and here's what my drawings look like. It's a drawing themed show, you know. I hope this makes it accessible and less like precious. I'm serious. Like if we're gonna do a tattoo, we've got to do what it takes to make a clean line, right? To make it beautiful, pristine, smooth, crisp, right? Whatever it is you need it to be. Um, but in this instance, right, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to just, we're just moving, we're just exercising, right? We're doing drawing exercises. So, anyways,
Lower stakes.
yes. So again, I think you can do this cross contour stuff, on any kind of object or well, it can turns it like into an object a little bit, I feel like, so this circle two-dimensionally, but then as soon as we start to sort of go across it, it starts to have a little bit
From
more movement, I
three-dimensional.
believe. Yeah. Um, of course, just sort of practically, I run into trouble with it, so I won't say that it's like, it's totally foolproof. And sometimes eyeballing this is better, I suppose. But if you were to use this um, as a grid that you laid out, if you wanted to draw, scales or something like that, for a dragon. Sometimes, sometimes it can be really challenging to keep all of the all of your scales aligned and stuff. So forgive how poorly that sort of looks, but it's sometimes we can use all the help we can get. So, but yeah, I do love this the scale pattern. I think it's so evocative of tattoos more generally. A lot of you can use it for birds and dragons and fish and like anything. You can stick that pattern on it, and it's just like it's cool as fuck, and it's like looks like tattoo. But again, it's kind of like how do you keep it organized? How do you align it with things? Sometimes I find like doing this sort of cross contour around a form, right? Turning this two-dimensional thing into something more formful. This is a practical application that you might find helpful. Again, you'll run into a complicated spot where it's really challenging to sort of continue this grid, and you might have to eyeball it. And sometimes the really beautiful tattoos, they do that. You know what I mean? Um, but so I find that this can be helpful. As far as just an application of this, uh, like what is it we're practicing here? What is it that you could actually do with it? And it's one thing particularly, but again, the thought is, um, you know, for these exercises, you're moving your arm, right? You're relating your body movements, right? Like, your wrist is a part of your body, obviously, but it can be maybe like you're very well connected, you know, and if you go to use your arm to do some drawing or something like that, you may find that it's just not quite so well connected. Um, so getting more acquainted with yourself might be something that you find valuable. Um, right. So these have been these have been really a lot of fun to, to just to have a good time, of course, just practice, right? And then, once you're warmed up and you're loosened up, you may want to grab just a regular old object or a reference, a photographic reference of something, try to sketch it out. I feel like that's a good way to learn about the world around us and to be able to draw from your imagination, right? Have that bank of experiences that you've had where you draw objects, you draw complicated things, helps you learn how to express what it is that you have in your imagination, to get it out on paper, get it out digitally, whatever the case may be. Maybe even write about it. So, um, well, uh, I'm hoping to continue with more drawing exercises next week, as well as, continue our conversation. Color theory has been like something we've been talking about lately, and it was really great to see artworks today, and to chit chat about tattoos. Um, and so I really enjoyed today's show, and I really appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks, chat. Yeah, thanks, creature. Yeah, and
Thanks,
again, thank
Peter.
you.
Thanks, everybody in the chat.
Yeah, thanks, chat. It really is. Couldn't do it without all of you, right? It's what makes it. It's what makes it what it is. So, well, um,
I have a quick
why don't we do
question.
some
Oh,
sign-offs, and we'll wrap it up for today. Um, Elise, could we start with you?
yeah.
Sign off.
Hi, I'm Elise. I was accidentally late today because Chicago still does daylight savings time, and I'm completely discombobulated. But I am a 3D modeling artist, and I'm going to be graduating in 5 weeks. Yeah. And you can find me at Elise Marl Visuals on Instagram and ArtStation.
It's excellent. Thank you so much for coming. And again, I just saw something that you made, and it was. Do you have a picture of it? I don't know if you could share it with us. It was something that you crocheted, I believe, and it was like a
Oh,
like a
yeah,
diamond. And
I have it on my iPad, I think.
I love crochet.
Yeah, it's a blanket I'm working on. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a 10-point star, and I really like it because it's one of those patterns where you don't really have to it's not like you have to like be reading the pattern as you're doing it. You kind of just have to follow like a couple of rules, and it goes like around and around. Yeah.
I love them.
But yeah, so I'm working on that, and that'll probably be my my passion project for the next couple of months.
thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
It's more complex than you let on. Doesn't make sense to me. I yeah, no, I'm in awe. But
Yeah,
thank you
thank you.
so much. Yeah, seriously. Medusa, will you give us your sign off, please?
Yes. Hi. Morning. I'm Medusa. You can find me at medusaslays.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, really enjoyed getting a chance to see your newest colored pencil rendering. It is really beautiful. So, and also, your insights into, materials that you're using. Um, yeah, I think it really is a benefit to all of us. And so I just, thanks again for sharing it, and thanks for coming. It's really, really incredible work. So thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank you
much.
very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Amber,
Good
welcome back.
morning.
Yeah,
Thank you.
let's have your sign off.
All right. I'm Amber Morgaine. You can find me on all social media platforms under Amber Morgaine, and that's where I be.
Well, it's again, it's so great that you were able to, to be well and be back with us.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody's well wishes. That trust me, they helped a lot while I was stuck in there.
Well, I also just wanted to mention, your beautiful drawing that you shared with us as well. It was really quite psychedelic, I think, in many respects.
Yes, I agree. A lot of the dreaming I've been doing is very much not, it's just psychedelic colors.
Well,
So that's
yeah,
what's been coming out on paper.
trippy. Um, yeah, and I liked Medusa's reference to the '90s cups. I thought that
Yes,
was
that little
I
light
saw that
blue and
pattern too.
purple swirl.
Yeah,
What a Dixie cups,
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking the same thing. So anyway, but it was I think that's there's really something to it. So keep making them. They're very cool, and again, it was like just a pleasure to see it. And
thank you.
so
I appreciate it. I think I got a couple more in there.
cool. Yeah, that's a series. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you never know. You may maybe use that as a study and do something else with it. Maybe it's a thing unto itself. You know what I mean? So it's
It's definitely an avenue somewhere.
cool. Well, thank you again for coming. And thanks again for sharing and for participating. It was very, very cool. Yeah, and again, thanks to the chat. It was super duper. You know what I mean? I'm glad everybody that could make it, was able to make it. And yeah, thanks, Creature, for the cool tattoo. I got to share that, and that was so also just a very great experience. Um, I'm James Wisdom. You can find me at Instagram, Tattooing Wisdom, and my website, tattooingwisdom.com. This has been Drawing for Tattooers. You can catch us next week, 9 a.m. Eastern. And then, of course, let me see. I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to share that you can also see. Oh, hold on. One more second. One more second, gang. I got the. I
Second
got.
time's the charm.
Did I say 1 second? I meant whatever. All right. Well, can't do it. So I was just gonna tell you all, if you're coming to Hell City, please come to the Reinventing the Tattoo table. Um, we're gonna be doing lots and lots of shows, but we're gonna have this show. Um, it's gonna be on Saturday, May 20th at 11 a.m. So we're gonna stream live from Hell City, and it'll be great to see you there. So again, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and you know, happy tattooing, right? Happy drawing, and we'll see you all next stream.
Have a good
Bye.
one.